Hello there. This is Mr. D. This is my second part of stage 7 of the disaster ministry honor. And stage 7 has to do with the preparation manual called Admin's Community Services. We're going to start off with the next section, which will be personal and family preparedness. So let's bring that up right now. Shared screens. As you can see, it's going to be this one down here called Advent's Disaster Personal Manual. So we're going to click on that. And as you can see, it says right here, Personal Family Ministry. Looks like it's page 7. If you'd like to follow through with me, that would be just fine. It starts off with, each person should take some simple step to prepare for and respond to emergencies, including natural disaster and terrorist attacks. Individuals can do three key things. 1, assemble an emergency supply kit, which would be really good. Develop a family emergency plan, that's even better. And be informed about different types of emergency that could occur and their appropriate response. Everyone should have some basic supplies on hand in order to survive for at least 3 days if an emergency occurs. When reviewing the following recommended and optional basic emergency supply kit content list, it is important for you to consider the unique needs of your location and the family in order to properly choose each kit contents. Individuals wishing to be well prepared should also consider additional smaller portable kits in their workplace, vehicle, and other places they spend time. This means when you're driving or you're at home or at work, you should have some form of disaster kit prepared in case something happens. The things that you see under basic disaster supply kit, like 3 days supplies of non-perishable food, 3 days of supply of water and 1 gallon of water per person and per day, portable battery powered radio, oh, that's important, and a television, flashlights, extra batteries, first aid kit, sanitation and hygiene items like toiletries and probably toothpaste too. A whistle, well, that'd be good, matches and a waterproof container, extra clothes, kitchen accessories like cooking utensils, photocopies of credit and identification card. Now that would be important. I mean, I'm asked so many times whether or not I have a COVID card, and if they walk around, they might even ask you that. Cash and coins, special need items such as prescriptions and eyeglasses, contact lens, items for infants and formula, other items that meet your unique family need. As you can see, there is quite a list here, and there might even be more that you would come up with. If you live in a cold climate, you must think about warmth. It is possible that you will not have heat. Think about your clothing and bedding and supplies. Be sure to include one of the complete change of clothing and shoes per person, including jacket, long pants, sturdy shoes, hat, sleeping bag, looks like a long sleeve shirt. And let's see what else it has here. Look at the list. Be sure to account for the growing children and other family changes, additional emergencies, plastic, sheeting, tarps, a wrench, pliers. So all these things that we go down have all kinds of, this looks like it has some amusement stuff, some books and games. More stuff that you might be aware of is maintaining your disaster supply kit. This is just making sure it stays in order. Just as important as putting your supply together is maintaining them so they are safe to use when needed. Here are some of the tips to keep in mind when supplies to keep supplies ready and good condition. Keep canned foods in a dry place where the temperature is cool. Store boxes of food in tightly closed plastic and metal containers to protect them from pests and extend its shelf life. Now, these listings I'm giving you, these could be important just for regular day life. The stuff that you put in a disaster supply kit. Throw out any canned goods or become swollen, dented, or corroded. Use food before they go bad and replace them with fresh supplies. Place new items at the back of the storage area and older ones to the front. That's what stores do. Change store food and water supplies every 6 months. Be sure to write the date that you store it on all containers. Rethink your needs every year and update your kit as your family needs change, like grows. Keep items in airtight plastic and your disaster supplies kits in 1 or 2 easy to carry containers, such as unused trash cans, camping backpacks, or duffel bags. Develop a family emergency plan. Now, this is important. A family emergency plan should consider where each family member will be when a watch or warrant is issued. Sometimes we don't have the advantage of either a watch or a warning. Disasters can strike anytime. That's why they're called disasters. Your family may be together or they may be in various locations. Your family emergency plan should consider the following: escape routes. How are you going to get out of the building? Family communication. How do you stay in touch with each other? Utility shut off and safety. That's important so you don't have a fire. Insurance and vital records, special needs, caring for animals, and safety skills. Now, based on these highlights, we're gonna, the manual does some subcategories. Like first, escape route. Your family should talk about possible escape routes from various places in your house, especially your bedroom, especially a place to meet in the event of an emergency. This should include a location just outside of your home or possibly in a neighbor's yard. If the event involves more than your home, should also consider location away from your house, but within your neighborhood, such as a nearby business or a city park. Family communication. Since your family members may be in various locations when you need to evacuate or are not able to return to the designated meeting place, you and your family should sit down together and discuss several options or alternative meeting places and methods of communication. Consider school, work, shopping, and daycare schedule, etc. Each of these businesses or organizations should have an evacuation plan. Be familiar with each of these plans and designate places to which each of these groups would evacuate their people. Designate an out of the area relative or a key person for family members to contact to report their status and location and contact information. Each member of the family should carry a wallet-sized card and most important information on it. All adults in the family may want to carry more information with them. A sample of a wallet-sized card is shown below. See the appendix as a sample of full-size information. Seems like a pretty simple thing, this family communication card. You can see it has your name, a telephone number, contact person, neighbor place to meet, and a 911 and some basic instructions. This form can be found through the ready.gov website in a publication, Are You Ready? Utility shut off, and safety. In the event of a disaster, you may be instructed to shut off the utility services such as electricity, gas, and water at your location. You put some kind of notice on here, it looks like, and indicating that you shut off the gas would be really important too. For more information regarding utilities, contact your local utility companies. Insurance and vital records. Now, this could be really important, especially if you're trying to get help. They want to know who you are, take inventory of who is doing well and not doing well. Consider obtaining property, including flood, earthquake, and etc., health or life insurance. If you do not have them, regularly review the existing policy for the amount of extension or coverage to ensure that you have the place that is required for your family in case of a disaster. You can also call 888-FLOOD-29 to learn more about flood insurance. Make a record of your personal properties for insurance purposes. Take photos or videos of the interior and exterior of your home, including personal belongings in your inventory. Store important documents such as insurance policies, deeds, property records, and other important papers in a safe place, such as a safety deposit box, away from your home. Make a copy of the important documents for your disaster supply kit. Consider saving money and an emergency saving account that could be used in the crisis. It is advisable to keep a small amount of cash at home in a safe place where you can quickly access it in case of evacuation. Special needs. Oh, I passed it up. Sorry about that. If anyone in your family has a special need, you may need to take additional steps to protect yourself and your family in the emergency. Additional publication regarding special needs are available from FEMA or other agencies and organizations. Caring for animals. Animals are also affected by disaster. Make a plan on how to care for your pets in the event of a disaster. Safety skills. It is important for family members to know how to administer first aid and CPR and how to use a fire extinguisher. Be sure you have adequate fire extinguisher and everyone knows the location of each one of them. You should have a minimum of one ABC type extinguisher. All right, now we have evacuation yourself and your family. With all these preparations, you should be just in the safe mode. Let me go to my page and see where we're at. Yes, evacuating yourself and your family. When a community evacuation becomes necessary, local officials provide information to the public through media. In some circumstances, other warning methods such as sirens and telephone calls also are used. There may be a circumstance in which you and your family feel threatened or in danger, and you need to leave your home or school or workplaces to avoid these situations. Always do this. Keep a full tank of gas in your car. Plan to take one car per person to reduce the congestion and delay. Make transportation agreements with friends and your local government if you do not own a car. Listen to a battery-powered radio. That's important, battery-powered radios. And follow local evacuation instructions. Gather your family, go immediately if you are instructed to evacuate. Leave early enough to avoid being trapped by severe weather or other hazards. Follow recommended evacuation routines. Do not take shortcuts. They may be blocked. Be alert for washed out roads, bridges. Do not drive into the flooded areas. Stay away from down power lines. You never know, these power lines could be underneath the water, and that is the last place you would want to be, is in that sparkly electrical water. It's, if time permits, gather your disaster supply kit, wear sturdy shoes and clothing that provide some protection, such as long pants, long sleeves, shirts, and cap. Secure your home, close and lock the doors and windows. Unplug electrical equipment such as radios, TVs, small appliances. Leave the freezer and refrigerator plugged in unless the risk of flooding. Let others know where you are going. These are important things that, as I said, it says here, that you should take in consideration when evacuating yourself and your family. The next chapter in our manual, which can be found on page 13, is what kind of possible disasters could you be confronted with? An avalanche, a conflagration, whatever that is, a drought. Well, I don't know about droughts, earthquakes, flood, hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons. Those are possible. A landslide, dust and sandstorm, snow, ice, and hail, tornado, volcano eruption, windstorm, and much more. You could look down through these. These are almost as many different possibilities here. And I'm sure you are going to come up with some. Now, this section that we covered, which is, let me see if we can back up a little bit. And a little further. Okay, this section that we covered, which is called Personal Family Preparedness. Remember, it goes through your basic supply kit, what you may want additional stuff in your supply kit, and you should maintain your supply kit. Then you should, after you have your supply kit put together, of course, it would help if you knew what kind of disaster you were doing, like back on page 13, I think it is. That would make it a lot better, you know? So I would say the rest of this chapter, which we already covered, which has to do with the, we have all this stuff like insurance cards, special needs, is evacuating yourself and your family. That's important. Gas and all those that I mentioned are very vital. I know many times I wish I would have filled my tank up just going to work. But what happens if I had a fire or something happened at night and I wasn't prepared? I'd be kind of in trouble. And remember, all these possible disasters, you know, that you may have are important to take into consideration. So at this time, let's see here, I closed out the manual, and that's considered my second part of stage 7 of the manual, which had to do with family and personal preparedness. The next section that I'm coming up with will be church preparedness, and that'll be the third option under this stage 7. I will see you there. You take care.